Shannon.
Intro. Hi.
Good evening.
I am rosed up because we got a rose ceremony at the very beginning of this episode.
I was genuinely hoping for one at the end, but then when we saw how things were going, I kind of lost optimism.
It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. But it's okay. It's okay. I have many a thought on what did actually happen.
Let's get straight into it then.
Wow. I mean, honestly, an intriguing episode. And I mean, let it be known, Victoria over and over thought that she was gonna do something. Victoria really thought she was like doing something by being like, it's not the Sarah show. And she said it like a couple times. And unfortunately, like that stuck because it exactly was the Sarah show. I actually feel like the producers did this to spite Victoria because she's so annoying. They were like, oh, she keeps saying it's not the Sarah show. Let's make this whole episode top to bottom. It's not even a little bit. It's not even a little bit about anybody else. Like top to bottom, fucking first. Well, I guess unless you count the first, like, okay, side note. How do you feel about getting these weird little clips before like the whole show starts? Like we were seeing Serena's donkey kiss at like the very beginning, and I turned it on. I was like, oh shit, we were here already. And then I literally turned it on because I thought I was running late to get it started because my streaming on my Apple TV is being weird. And I was like, oh shit, they're already on a date. And then I was like, oh, wait, just kidding. They're not. Here we are back forward. Because then I was like, wait, yeah, we were at a rose ceremony. They should be on a date. Okay. So I'm glad we're on the same page. It's jarring. Like, I understand what they're trying to do with this, but it's like not working like that.
Well, it's like, I feel like they're trying to make it more dramatic, but they're giving away what's about to happen. Like we've been hearing, they said it on Chatty Broads. The coming up this week or like coming next on The Bachelor or like next week on The Bachelors have all included people that they've attempted to turn into like a cliffhanger in the previous rose ceremony.
Right. And so it's just
like they're not being very good about keeping secrets.
Yeah, they're definitely spoiling themselves a little bit. And it's kind of like, do your job better. I don't know, producers. But
literally, whatever. What else is there to do?
At least this one wasn't spoilery. It was just Serena, what's her face. So I guess we knew she was going to get a rose, but I think she by that point had already had a rose. Yes, she did, because I listed the people who. So she already had a rose by the time that so this one wasn't a spoiler, but last one was, because last time they showed promos of the women having roses with their hands when Sarah faints or whatever. So whatever. Yeah, they're just picking it up. But whatever. Anyway, so we enter on rose ceremony where we left off. Sarah faltering, fainting, passing out, getting close to passing out, blacking out. I don't know. Something along that direction. But Matt, of course, gentleman that Matt is, rushes to her rescue. And then they go outside to some fresh air, which, of course, Sarah, perfect. Isolate the lead. Isolate. Honestly, I'm sorry to anybody who's annoyed by Sarah during this, but like I thought Sarah was A+ during this whole episode, and I thought everybody else was overreacting. I thought that everyone had rights to be angry at Sarah throughout the whole thing, but the way they like piled to her was again, thoughts, we'll get there. But she's out talking to Matt, and Victoria is like evil smiling at all of this. It's very strange what's happening, and all of the women are like whispering about how this is just like a joke. And I honestly think that Victoria evil smile shows us something to come for this episode. You know what I mean? Because Victoria
absolutely
was very much like lashing on to leaning into disliking Sarah. And I think it was a nice, good deflection tactic of Victoria's to make everybody else forget that Victoria was the one being a big fucking bitch. And also to remind everybody that Victoria was the one for the last 2 episodes and all of these experiences to draw all of their attention away. Like, she's the one who's been taking up all the time. So everybody yelling at Sarah for taking up time. I'm like, y'all are just projecting your pent up anger at Victoria because you haven't gotten to be angry at her. And Sarah's is more direct, I think. It's like a more clear example of like, Sarah is whatever. Oh, God, I have feelings.
I mean, I feel like we kind of discussed this last week where we were talking about how Victoria has this problem where like she just doesn't edit enough, and she either is like getting too ahead of herself, or she's, and I hope this isn't the case, and I don't mean to be offensive, but maybe she's not smart enough to know she like has to edit, like doesn't have the social graces, whatever it may be. But we made note of the fact that like there's a nugget of truth, and then she just keeps talking and fucks it all up, which is
she
like
buries herself. Yeah.
But like that's a lot of what she did tonight, and it was so frustrating to watch because for things that are happening in real time, I cannot endorse or support Victoria because she is a shithead based on what we know about her as the general public.
We're getting a lot of just like sideline off camera tea, off show tea of like Victoria being potentially,
it's easy to find
in the MAGA zone.
Yeah, it's on Twitter. Like, you can see it. Yeah. It's out there. It's no secret.
It definitely, and it went viral fast, and it went viral. Yeah. Like I saw it first on Twitter, which is saying something because on the way I have like my Twitter, I don't really follow enough people who are in like my reality world is on Instagram. My reality TV world, like all of my reality TV pit social media world, Instagram. So Twitter, when I saw her getting likes, I saw a like of whatever. I saw that on my Twitter. I was like, whoa. And it had like 45,000 fucking likes. That's a lot. So anyway, because when you have 45,000 likes, that means your impressions on Twitter are like in the millions of like it having been seen, even if it isn't liked or reacted with.
Right.
Twitter's a weird one like that. But anyway,
so what I was saying
Victoria
is
MAGA.
Like, but yeah, so like rounding that out, like that being said, like this is not an endorsement because I refuse to do that, just so that's abundantly clear, like no room for confusion anywhere down the line.
Yeah.
But when Victoria was arguing with Sarah, we got a good example of like she had a point, she had it was right there, and she could have just cut her losses and let the other women pick it up, and it would have been completely valid. But then she just kept fucking talking, and now it can't be taken seriously.
She was too pleased with her win, and she got a little too cocky. And
exactly,
it was unfortunate because, like, yeah, like Victoria, you have a right to be upset. Like,
but like she made valid points about like when all the women were like, Chris Harrison said everyone is getting time this week. Like it was literally the first day of the week, and you could have waited any of those other days to talk to him. Yeah, you were gonna be on a date with him later in the week. You were gonna no. Okay,
so that's like Sarah. Oh, Sarah's got that gameplay strategy. She's like, no, I gotta tell it now. I gotta see him now. I gotta progress. And that's it. Now.
Like, you were saying like you think that people are annoyed with Sarah. Like I am annoyed with her from if I'm looking at it from like if I knew you in real life. If I was one of those women, I would absolutely detest you, and like I would be calling you on your shit as well. From a sports analyst perspective, as we are, right? I think it's brilliant. I think it was a good strategy. I think that like this is a good strategy on paper, but in like the deeper level of sports analysts, like retired players type status, like real insight, like the way we can think about it, and we both know that it was so poorly executed when it came to like when she was confronted by the women, she blanked. She lost it. She tried too hard to force the crocodile tears, and we'll go over that. Like she like just was not prepared for the women to be combative like that.
Yeah. And
so that's where she fucked up.
Yeah. And I can't wait to talk about her chart too.
Okay.
And all that. So yes. All right. With Sarah, we get so Anna is definitely specifically placing herself in an extremely annoyed place. Like, she is pissed because Miss Anna is saying that she hasn't talked to Matt at all.
I don't know whose fault that is but Anna's.
Well, first of all, we know based on Sideline, her posting on Instagram, that she has talked to Matt.
That's
It's just
true.
not been aired. So that was a lie, which is wild to me. I'm not sure. Maybe she was talking like in context to something, but to the date or whatever. But either way, Anna is starting to get real feisty about having not had any time. And then what is it? Now she's having this really pure and intense moment with Matt, and she's getting exactly what she wants, which is what Anna says. Which, I mean,
and it's true.
yeah.
That is an astute observation. That is exactly what is happening.
Any of y'all could faint if you want. Go for it. Faint. Fuck you. You can
That's
fake.
what it is.
You know how easy it is to fake blacking out and fainting. So fucking easy. Just do it, girls. Get your head of the game. Damn.
Well, that's why I was so disappointed by those fake tears. I was like, girl, if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, like, but also I'm wondering now with what later, I'm wondering how fake the tears were. If she was really like thinking.
I think at different portions.
A lot of layers. Okay, so Matt is like, I was worried about Sarah. Nothing mattered except for how she feels. And then Victoria, did you catch this when she's like, I've never fainted before, and like, I don't know, it's just like she said something else. And
so it's like, I've never fainted for attention. I don't even think I've ever fainted like ever.
And then I've never fainted for attention. I've never fainted. Yeah, exactly. It was 2 layers of I've never fainted for the attention, and I don't think I fainted ever. And then she goes, so just like, I don't know, don't faint.
Just like keep it together.
She literally said, don't faint. And I'm like,
I'm sorry.
This bitch is the kind of person who's like, oh man, I'm having a lot of problems with my like something. It's just like, well, just don't have them. Just like,
I might be that person as well. And like, not that bad, right? Like, I can be empathetic. Like, I am capable of being sympathetic for people, but like, I am I get sometimes when people are crying and you're like, now's not the time. Like, can you not?
It's so wait funny because you're both Cancer moons, and it's really funny because most people would characterize Cancer moons as being the people who are very like, oh my god, yes, let me like feel you, feeling, hug you and love you. And I feel like it's a both and you can have everything at once.
I personally feel like, at least for me, it's because I am so emotional but rarely show my emotions, so I know that it is possible to keep a lot of things in for the appropriate time. So I'm like, other people's lack of self-control when I know that I'm like overflowing and can still keep it together for the most part, I just like, I'm unimpressed.
Honestly, though, that's fucking heard. Like, you're like, I have this emotional level of control that none of you do, and I don't fucking get it. However, Victoria, I'm like, girl, you're not emotionally holding it together here either. You're just unraveling in a different way.
She's like losing touch with reality.
It's all over the place. But anyway, so and this is when the first utterance of it's not the Sarah show. Well, it is, Victoria.
It is. Indeed it is.
But then I'm just like, this is my first thought of, and I wrote this in my notes directly, because usually in my notes, I'm mostly just quoting things that happens, but every once in a while I throw a thought in to remind myself. This is a thought of me being like, but what if she actually is not faking this and is actually upset? Like, damn, girls, aggressive. Like, this is where my first thought of like, these girls are like really getting feisty. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because during the filming of this was like September, October zone, Mars had just gone retrograde in Aries, and right now we're on Mars and Taurus, so we made it. But back then, Mars was in Aries, and it had just it went retrograde on September 9th. So I'm wondering if like that's probably really close to when they started filming. And even if it wasn't, it doesn't matter because Mars and Aries, no matter what, is like chaos. But I feel like the Mars retrograde during this makes a lot of sense because all of these women are having these really pent up feelings and anger that they are like leashing out in weird directions in not the right place. Like, and then this sex date too, like sex story date was like, this is another level of Mars.
Oh God, I can't wait to talk about it.
But like, anyway, this was just like so funny to me to think about. Like, this is a lot of Mars energy, and everyone's just starting to get very aggressive. And back to, again, misplacing the aggression. Like, okay, so then let's see. Okay, so she's. Oh, this is when Matt starts having his little. He has his what you call it? His little speech, and it's like, "There's only one of me, and so many of y'all."
Did you notice when they came back in? So Matt and Sarah were outside, and like the women were positioned in the lobby to be watching them, of course.
Right, of course.
It's The Bachelor. But did you notice how when Sarah and Matt were hugging, Sarah was like, "Okay, yeah, like let's keep going," and I was like, "Oh, so let's round up the PA, like let's get everybody together, like we're gonna go." Like, I'm sorry, Sarah, who?
Sarah is honestly, like, what's funny, again, back to being on TV. Sarah's been on the show before. She's been the news anchor, and being the news anchor is when you're like, all right, can we get another one to go, right, guys? Like, especially if you're on site, like if you're doing a on location news show or news episode or whatever, news story. Wow. I was in journalism school. I can't even get these words out. It's late. Anyway, she's out on location and is just out here running the show. And so of course she walks back on. It's like, all right, guys, back to set. Back to
like, I'm ready now.
One.
Like, we can go. The roses are back out. Okay, we can go now.
Yeah, really. And again, she did have a rose, so it's like,
I mean, that's why the girls were getting so pissed.
Yeah, which I get it, but also like if she actually did have like a medical thing, like whatever. I honestly don't think she was faking it. I think it was definitely probably brought on by all of the stress of all of this, which is dramatic to say the least. But like, I don't necessarily think she was full blown fucking faking it. Like,
well, that's what we like agreed upon at the end of the last episode, where it's like it was probably like a little bit of anxiety and lightheadedness that like she thought herself into a tizzy, and it like escalated and snowballed the more she worried about it.
Knees.
And she locked her knees.
Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, so I was just kind of stressed. This is my first red flag of being stressed about, like, damn, these girls are all over her. And then yeah, Kate. I was actually pleased with Kayla. She goes, I did not question Sarah's fainting, but did I want my name to be called? And did it feel annoying to have to wait for that or something along those lines? But basically, like, I was annoyed that I had to wait for all this, but like I didn't question Sarah fainting. Whereas some women are like, did she fake it? Immediately. Let's see. And then Matt. Okay, so this is when we get Matt picking the other women. And all it is Kayla, and then Mari, MJ, Anna, and Kaylee. And then, or Kylie. Sorry, Kylie. And then this is when Victoria and Marilyn are talking over each other in their little interviews, talking about like, oh no, like, I wonder if I'm going to stay. I wonder if I go. Victoria's like, Marilyn's toxic ass needs to leave. And Marilyn is just like, in her sweet little voice, I just really hope that this situation with Matt doesn't like cloud who I am as a person. Like, she's just
the whispers,
literally so like calm and upset and sad. And Victoria's like, fuck this toxic hoe, get her out.
My God. I literally made a note about the whisper tone. I was like, she's literally like, and I'm just really sorry that anyone thinks that they were less than, or like that I was trying to make them feel less than, because like we are all so amazing. Literally. And all of these women are so amazing.
We are so all God's children. And like,
oh God,
we are all one soul and love. Like, I'm ready for that for Marilyn, and I would pay for her to tell me those things. Like, I want her to narrate something. We should ask her to like narrate us something like on a voice memo.
And I would die
on the pod.
But I like felt for her, and my last like memory, like my fondest memory of sweet Marilyn will be when she was sitting there at the rose ceremony, like tugging on her one singular sleeve like this. And I was like, she's anxious. And I See you.
Poor, sweet Virgo-y person.
Ugh,
Of course, she was
Marilyn.
nervous and anxious. But
We will
anyway,
miss you. We'll see you soon.
so, and then the last flower goes to Victoria. And that means that Marilyn goes home. And along with, who else? Wait, hang on. I scrolled to the bottom of my notes for some reason. Okay. Caleb. Nope, that's who got it. Sydney, Marilyn, Elenia, Alana. And yeah, Kristen, which I didn't realize, like fully clock that she was like gone home. Like I was surprised and kind of thought she'd at least get there a little bit further, but whatever.
Me too.
I wasn't surprised about any of the other women except for Marilyn. I was just bummed. Well, I don't know. I guess I was kind of surprised about Alana. I thought she'd hang on at least in one more episode, you know?
I feel like the producers were like, we get one rose and we've bitten off more than we can chew with Victoria as it is.
Yeah, honestly, like a lot. Yeah. So anyway, and Marilyn said one interesting thing as she left. She said there was other drama, like they were referencing Victoria. There was drama with other women that just didn't get brought up. So I'll give it to her. She's a great actor. I was like,
I did notice that. I did remember
yes,
that.
bitch, call her out. Like, honestly, I loved that exit because she's just like, yeah, like there was a lot of other problems, but I was just the one that brought it up. And Victoria is a great actor. I just like love that subtle shade. That's my mood leaving situations like that, where I'm just like, damn, because it's like, yeah, she called it. Marilyn was totally correct. Like that's what's so frustrating to watch about these situations is being like, damn, she got robbed. Justice for Marilyn.
We will miss you.
Yeah, her sweet little self. That's okay. Okay, and then we went to commercial, and I had to note that the first commercial we see, the whole episode, this is the first commercial slot, is JoJo and Jordan in a Heineken ad for non-alcoholic beer, and JoJo and Jordan are Bachelorette and Bachelor and ring winner of past. What season was that? It was a while ago. It was like
I don't remember.
It was a while. Yeah, it was like Joe. I could play. It was like Tasha / Claire, Hannah.
She was after, or she's right before Rachel.
Right, but yeah, right before Rachel, after Caitlyn.
No, after I think Desiree. Because I didn't watch Caitlyn's episode of The Bachelorette, but I did watch Desiree's and I did watch JoJo's.
Oh, I thought that Caitlyn was before JoJo because I thought that Nick Viall
I think she was
closer. I meant I know before JoJo, but I meant right before, the one before, because
no, because I did not know who Nick Viall was when he was announced.
Oh, that's right, because Caitlyn was on Chris Soule's season, and then she was Bachelorette. I thought she was, yeah, right, you're right, because then it was Ben who was on what's her face, who was on Caitlyn's season, right? Fuck, I'm mixing up here because I didn't watch in this time. I mean, I had been watching.
They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same, but
they
like
all just go like this.
I picked back up at JoJo after like stopping to watching during college, just from being a college student. But whatever. Okay. So JoJo and Jordan, LOL, were in their commercial. So batch on batch content. So now we're back. Women are chatting. Chris says that Matt has trouble feeling uncomfortable. Chris comes in and says that Matt has trouble feeling uncomfortable and needs to be pushed. And so the date card says, be comfortable in being uncomfortable. And this first date is supposedly orchestrated by Chris Harrison himself, which is jarring to me and horrifying. So,
well, that comes as no surprise when we realize that the first date is essentially a plug for his book.
Yeah, I hated that a lot, especially because there is number one, no way he wrote that book.
I mean, okay,
At least
listen.
not fully by himself. Like,
no, but do I think that Chris Harrison came up with that really bland erotica? Yes, I do.
I'm disturbed.
Oh, I
So,
likewise.
all right, so the people on this date are Rachel, Bree, Lauren, Kit, Serena C, Victoria, Kayla, Anna, Kylie, and Katie. So yeah, today is a surprise for everyone. And one thing I noticed is Toxic C Toxic, Kit and Victoria are skipping up to Matt together, arm in arm. So
Guess who got there first?
not wait. Oh, wait, what do you mean?
To Matt. Do you know who got the first hug? Because I did. I
Oh,
noticed.
Kit, yeah. Kit hugged him first. Yeah, she got the hug jump.
It was interesting.
Hug jump. Yeah.
I really don't see
really
Kit as a contender. I don't know how she got there.
No. I think she's just there because she's cute and tiny and small and will probably, I don't know. And she's rude. Like, honestly, I genuinely think she's a rude person. But anyway, back to Toxic C Toxic with Victoria. Chris Harrison is, so Matt comes through and literally tells the women that Chris Harrison is taking the reins and I have no idea what is going on.
I just don't understand. Like
why fake it? Why fake it?
Yes, why fake it? But it's like, so we're made to believe that producers had no hand in this at all. Like, yeah, fucking right, first of all. But it's also like, how could Chris Harrison possibly know Matt as well as he's pretending to?
He is really trying so hard to be like, bro, you're my bro. Oh my God, man, like, yeah, like he is. I think it's
we are to believe that they are best friends.
Yeah, like I think it's the classic. Chris is trying so hard to be like, hey, look, I'm like so cool with black dudes. Like, whereas with at least like Tasha and Rachel, like having had a black bachelorette, like two of them, I think with that, it's a little different because he can still see in his mind as respecting them because they're women, like in the like sexism, misogynist part, right, of him, of like, which is weird to start is to say, right? It's like, oh, well, he only is nice to them because they're women. But like with the, like with Matt as a black man, I just feel like Chris is probably underlying, even if it's like not even intentional, which I mean, he's very probably at this point MAGA. So like, who knows? It might be. But I just feel like, yeah, Chris is trying so hard to be that white dude who's like, look, I have a black friend. He's my bestie. He's my bro. We're bros. So anyway, we're on this date and we have, this woman reading what sounds like erotica, right? And it's bad erotica. Not good writing. Very tame, also like tame but not tame. Like it's trying to be not tame, like sliding up your thick, whatever the fuck, I don't know. But then it was, of course, out of the shadows steps motherfucking Ashley Iaconetti, which
made this all the worse.
It was jarring to me.
It was bad enough. No, he can stay away. Because the last thing I want,
stay off.
The second to last thing I want is to watch Ashley read erotica, and the very last thing I want is to watch Jared read erotica.
Could you imagine
if they were like at home?
Would it have been a fucking horrible and even more cringy if they were like both on stage and reading it to each other?
I wouldn't have watched it. You would have gotten a text from me. You would have gotten a text message from me saying, Shannon, I will let you know. Let me know when this is over. You can take over the notes for this portion. I'll let you cover it. It's fine. I've got no words. I don't want to watch this.
Physically cannot watch. I mean, I was getting secondhand embarrassment from a lot of this. Like, and I really don't get that. But anyway, so she's then reveals to be reading Chris Harrison's book, which is a book that he wrote, which is somewhat of a romance smut novel with lots of sex. Ashley says, she literally says lots of sex. So I'm already checked out of the state knowing that Chris Harrison wrote a book that's like this. So I'm stressed. Also, back to my thought, this bitch, I bet he's a Sagittarius rising. Or I don't know, because he's a Virgo moon. That's the writing part and like Cancer stuff too. He's got Cancer Venus. But I could see him being a Scorpio if he's, oh my God, or Scorpio.
I feel like
Jupiter,
you'd have
Sag
to.
rising.
I feel like you would have a better
I'm just like jarred by
grasp
this
on it
situation
if you actually read the contents of the book. Like if you saw how Chris Harrison would describe certain things, I think that would give you better intel. No, I agree. I'm not saying it would be easy. It would not be an easy task, not for the faint of heart.
It would be an undertaking. Honestly, maybe I will undertake that. Maybe Olivia will. Ooh, that'd be funny. Olivia would love to read some trash book and get to just like rip it to shreds.
Will she write us a book report?
Olivia, for everyone you don't know, Olivia is my darling English teacher girlfriend and literature grad student, everything, all of it. But anyway, so this horrible ass book is Chris Harrison's. I didn't even get the title. Did you get the title? I didn't get the title. Don't fucking care.
I'm not gonna look it up.
Stupid, very stupid and vague that did not at all sound like a romance
novel. Now I'm gonna look it up.
It was like it wasn't like It Takes Two, but it was like I think it starts with a stop. No.
Perfect letter. Okay, so I am going to purchase this book right now.
I can't. You are giving the Dark Lord money when we could maybe find that shit.
Wait, okay, actually, no, I've got a ton of credits on like Audible or something. We'll see if it's available on Audible. I'll make a note of that.
Wow. Love that. Yeah, we can't give the Dark Lord money. More money than he already gets from us.
You're right. He's too much of my time and energy.
So anyway, horrible ass book reading moment. And then he reveals that they have to write their own stories about Matt. And then Rachel, this little Libra QAnon bitch. Why can't we just have a season without racists? Like, is it so hard? No, I don't think it is, but I guess it is. Anyway. Yeah, for anybody who's listening and does not know, Rachel, it was at least exposed by many a different accounts that Rachel was like in the past. Ooh, hiccup.
Rachel's a racist.
In the past. Yeah, and she had in the past been like liking a shitload of different Instagrams that were like not only just like classic like Indians and like Indian headdresses, like all of that that horrible stuff, but also people in full-blown blackface, like, and this is on top of the woman who made a TikTok about her saying that Rachel made fun of her for dating black guys. And that was the first piece of Rachel tea that came out, and it's literally just been snowballing since. Like the Victoria one is literally just the one flag in the background of a photo, but with Rachel, it's like a lot more.
And then they both had their responses to like things like they were saying that the Black Lives Matter posts the Black Lives Matter protests that happened in the spring and the summer, and like there was archived responses to that, and posts made about that, or like lack of posts made about that.
Yeah, Victoria tried it. Victoria tried real hard. She like posted on her stories her old, like the post she posted like in June. This classic fucking move that is trash. Like influencers, you're fucking stupid for doing this. If you repost a post from June and you're like, this is all it takes. Like I did this, look, like, see, I did it, I care. And it's like, okay, that was then. So now you're being like, why don't we just keep apologizing? Like if you actually give a shit, apologize for something racist you've done in the past. Apologize for causing harm to people who you are influencing over, who are watching you on TV, et cetera, like it's not that fucking hard. And
the best
Rachel,
way,
go ahead.
The best way that I saw it put is like platform equals privilege, privilege equals power, and power equals responsibility. So if you want your platform and you want to maintain this platform that you use to shill your shit and make money off the masses, then be willing to like nut up, and no matter what your beliefs are, like don't sit there and don't ride the fence for dollars. Like whatever your energy is, keep that energy, and the consequences that follow are the consequences that follow, but like nut the fuck up at this point.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
deal with your shit.
And don't send your friends after everybody who's talking shit about you, Rachel.
Rachel's friends, I dare you. I dare you.
Rachel's
oh my God.
friends, if you're fucking listening to us, or if you see any of us on our Instagram, like, yeah, I'm talking shit about your racist ass friend, and
We're
all
talking
you
shit about
bitches.
Rachel. Yeah, and
like,
you guys.
hello, and like literally, like, if you all, first of all, all shade. But if you're still best fucking friends with all your little people from high school, that's a red flag. Like, hard pass. And that's not to say, like, I still have friends from high school, but it's the groups that you ride in, especially when you're those like popular girls, like, and you're still like, and I have these, like, I'm from the South, like, I'm from Texas. I have these girls from my high school who are just like this, who are all super cute and pretty, and they were all popular, and they had this huge friend group, and they went to prom, and it was like 20 of them with all their boyfriends, you know, and then they all stayed close because they all go to the same college in the same state, and then they all do their life. It's just like they never detach, and when you don't at least detach a little bit, you really lose sense of growth. Like, you don't, you stifle yourself, you keep yourself from seeing new things, new people, new experiences. And if you keep staying friends with all the white racist bitches from your fucking Georgia high school, then,
well, yeah, I mean, I feel like
see that there's going to be much different.
It goes a lot like, or what is it, what's the phrase, like, you are the company that you keep. Like, that saying goes pretty far. And if the company that you keep is still the same set of racist people for over a decade, then
yeah,
like, I don't think that you have an interest in getting better or being better.
Yeah. And it's interesting with social media now because, yeah, there is this new zone of like friends defending people and friends defending their friends on the show. But this situation of like defending her in every, like, they're everywhere. Like, it's like a literal army. Like, I seriously wouldn't be surprised if they show up in our DMs or our comments at some point, even if we're not fucking talking shit. Like,
I hope they do.
Same, because they are,
we're such small potatoes. If they have the time, then they have too much time.
And also, we're such small potatoes. We're also just like old. I'm just like older than these bitches. I'm like, come for me, please. I will stomp also, you, racist.
I was gonna say, the number one is you can always win an argument if you're arguing with a racist, because they're racist. They've already fucking lost. Like, they're already on the wrong side. They're fucking racist.
Yeah. So anyway, back to this date. Rachel is a Libra and is being a dumb Libra. And I'm sorry to Libras listening to this. And also, like, general PSA, like, when I'm talking shit about these women's zodiac signs, I'm not talking shit about your zodiac sign unless I directly be like, okay, this is a message to all this or all that, because sometimes there are things that I'm like, oop, this is a classic. Everyone, all these, you know what I mean? But like, generally, if I'm talking full shit, I'm not calling out your side. Like, don't be offended. It's not about you. It's about this person I'm watching on television and what they're giving me. So that's that. Love all of you that listen to me. And like, I can literally also say, I could, like, you could ask me positive things about all of these people on this television show right now, even Victoria, or ask me to say something positive based on their astrology chart. And I'd be like, okay, I can't immediately. Like, let's go. So anyway, back to Rachel, this bitch, this dumb Libra, because it's so funny to me, it's not surprising to me that the Libra is the classic, like, oh my God, I just like, I'm so private with this, but also like, I'm totally the racist bitch from high school. Like, I was that mean popular girl who's bullying people. Like, it's that very similar vibe. Like, Libras are so good at playing nice and playing cute and coy. Like, she's playing it so well with Matt on this date. And then she has this little arc of being like, I'm so nervous. And then I do it. Oh, it was so fun. I would do it again ever. And then later, all that. So Rachel bothers me even aside from being a racist.
Oh,
so,
same.
Good.
I have my reasons. I think she's fake as fuck.
We don't hate only because of just one thing. We find multifaceted reasons to hate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There has to be at least 3. Yeah.
Well-rounded reasons. So Katie is obviously super down, is talking to Ashley, and then Serena C is such an Aries, and she's like, I should just like expose what I want in bed. Honestly, like, wait, yeah, your thought and your theory on this was great about this date and your tactic.
I don't even remember what I said. Oh, yes, I do. If I was on this date, all I would do is, because I feel like it's nerve-wracking to sit there and have to like make something up on the spot. Like a lot of people, if you say like, tell me something about yourself, people blank because like it's hard to think of shit like that on the fly if it's not something you're used to. So I would probably, if I had to write something off the top of my head, would write a very subpar erotica. So I would just recount something that's already happened to me. That way I could do it very vividly and I could do it in extreme detail. And I would just plug Matt in to
exactly
the counterpart of the story. And then he'd be like, oh my God, wow, that was so vivid. It's like I was actually there. And you're like, oh my God, yeah, like I just thought of that. No, that's so crazy. Like I honestly, you inspired me. Like you're just so hot. Like I really just couldn't even.
And the odds of whatever bum fucking dude you've had sex with at whatever, like, is watching the show and it's like, wait, that happened with me, like, are very slim. So go, girl, tell your story.
And that's what I said. I was like, what are the odds that my like significant other would turn around and be like, that sounds a lot like that time. But I digress.
Yeah. So anyway, they just kind of have this whole little moment of like, they're all reading to Ashley and it's whatever. And then Victoria, this is where Victoria gives us a little hint of how vulgar she's going to be, because she literally says something about sucking his cock and it's like bleeped out everything.
You can still see their lips moving. They try to like blur it, but you can see what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and also you could just like context like half the time, except for some of this part later, they were like bleeping everything. And I was like, I have no clue. So anyway, this is the whole point where I'm like, this is fake. Like Victoria is a plant. Victoria is like, she's just so over the top. I can't get over it.
Facts.
Anyway, we're back. We're back after a commercial, and obviously the audience that is going to watch is the other women, and which is brilliant because this is very similar to the blindfold, like touch, make out, like touch each other, kiss each other kind of date, where the men had to watch. Like it's the
quarantine play.
Yeah, but it's like putting them in a situation where they have to watch their lead flirting with other people very clearly. And this one is like overt in the fact that like the women are talking about literally fucking him. Like this was the most sexual date for a Christian I've ever, for a very devout Christian who's like, I'll pray for you like twice during this episode. Oh my God.
That's why like I understand Sarah's discomfort. Like I don't think that that's uncalled for or unexpected. I don't think that anyone was thinking that she should have been like Gucci about it. I don't think that at all. But like we're going to touch back on this later, but I just like feel like I have to say it now. She kept talking about how this was so difficult for her, but as Anna points out later in the episode, she has had one of the easiest rides out of all of the women. So it's like, read the fucking room. Like if we want to, you know what I mean? Like have some, I just think that she's
she's
trying to play a strategy and is not doing it well. I don't think that she intended to get as caught up in this.
Yeah, she's not like super self-aware, but anyway, yeah, we'll get there. So But so obviously this is again back to Sarah. This is when she starts getting her spiral moment of watching all of this and getting super jealous. And at one point she's like fully listening, like leaning down with her hands on her forehead, just like covering her face, like like literally cringing. Like she could not, she was not down to listen to this. Honestly though, she's a Virgo moon and those bitches are very tightened up. And let's see, this is when they all start kind of reading, and Matt's reads his first, and I didn't have any note on it, but I videoed part of it, and it's on the Instagram story because it was so fucking cringy. And also, he was reading it very poorly. Like, he was pausing really like between his phrases for a little too long, and I think he was trying to make it sexy and like
he was trying to, because it was all
her
like
leg and whatever.
Well, it was because it was all like misleading. Like he would be like, oh, like she dropped her purse by the stairs, and it was like this alluring scent of, and then hoping that you think it's like some innuendo, but he's like, chocolate cake, and you're like, oh, I thought it was gonna be like,
it was
pheromones
his
or some
was
shit. I don't know.
Literally everything was so cringy, but his was really bad.
Well, it's like,
and yet all the women are thirsting after him. Ugh.
And okay, so this is my issue with this date, and it's not even necessarily an issue, but like, I feel like this gave me unwanted insight into what the women are like in bed. Like, it's such a bizarre thing to say because I'm not trying to mean for it to sound the way that it sounds, but like it gives me
I'm ready to talk about all the Mars signs.
Yeah, like like you sit there and you're like, oh, like I can kind of tell that you're like not in vivid detail, but like I can tell you're kind of like insecure in bed and probably like not much fun. Like that's like the vibe I got, but I don't know if some of them were like nervous from the cameras or what, but like I didn't want that kind of insight on these women. I don't care to know that. I don't care.
100%.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I have lots of thoughts because it's so funny because since we have all the women's charts, it's just like funny to think about all their Mars
we have
signs,
extra insight.
Yeah. So first up to read is Anna, and she reads something about her having like she kind of like writes about a fantasy suite. And I actually thought Anna's was really good, like as far as the date goes. You know what I mean? Like the purpose of the date. Yeah, it was funny, it was clever, it was like sexy enough, and it wasn't like trying too hard to be too sexy. It was like letting it be like, yeah, we're dorky and writing this right now, like it's funny. She's
like the balance of both, because like even she says like she like leads up to this climax of like the experience, and then the climax happens when he tells her that she's the last one standing, which is like
so funny. Like
funny, very funny.
And then, isn't it? She goes, "Yeah, you're the only one left, and no one else is here." And then she goes, and she immediately comes.
Yeah,
like it was actually so funny. And actually, what's really funny too about this is she has Mercury and Mars in Taurus, and so it's funny that there's that Mercury Mars conjunction. So she can literally Mercury write about this sex stuff kind of quickly and easy and witty. And in Taurus too, Taurus is very sensual. So like she was able to start where she was like the lacy bra going off of her breasts one by one. Oh my God, I feel risque like talking about this on a fucking podcast. It's so funny.
We're gonna have to label this to erotica.
Yeah, literally like 18 plus. Yeah, right. But so then Brie reads hers and she's like talking about literally she mentions like the earth on his body, and it's like because she's mentioning the mud from their date. And then that was quick, of course. And then Lauren read something really quick that I didn't have a note for, but it was like fine. And then Kylie talking about having sex in public. Kit is Kylie also sex in public is very Leo, and she's a Leo something. Let me find it. Kylie, where are you on my spreadsheet? What sign? She's a fire sign, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, because she's like a Leo sun and Mercury, so she's of course. Yeah. And where's her Mars? Is in Leo? No, not Libra. Her Mars is in Cancer. Yeah, Mars in the freaking Cancer in the first house. Okay, yeah. So of course she's just like she's down, ready to go. She's like, let's do it. And then Kit talks about long, thick legs.
She did exactly what Matt did, which is kind of funny, but like they both tried to do the same
Yeah.
thing. They're like long, thick legs. And it's like they want,
Haha.
yeah.
And then Serena C is like, I know my man Matt James is packing. Like she said something funny, also kind of just like it was like, but it was something poem like she was.
It rhymed.
Yeah,
I did clock a rhyme.
And then Kayla was like going for it, and I literally wrote that hers was mostly bleeped, so it was definitely a lot of like full blown fucking sex, no doubt. Which also Pisces are the fucking freaky. Pisces are freaky as shit. So no doubt. Oh yeah, Pisces and Virgo both are like these two signs you don't quite expect, but Virgos are freaks because they're all like wound up so tight in the world that they get to like unleash somewhere else. But Pisces, I mean, first of all, like, you know, do you listen to Free Nationals? Damn. Well, Anderson .Paak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Anderson .Paak. The Free Nationals is his band.
Oh, okay.
But they released I highly recommend they release an album. But there's literally a lyric in one of the songs, and it's part of the chorus, and it's literally pussy wet like an ocean, and like that's kind of the joke for Pisces. Because Pisces is the one water sign where the symbol for the Pisces, so the water sign symbols are Cancer is the crab, Scorpio is the scorpion, and Pisces is the two fish. And the only one of those symbols that actually lives underwater all the time is Pisces, the fish. So it's like if you're thinking about water and wet, like that wet thing, yeah. Pisces too and Virgo are both like very servicey in bed. Yeah. This is so fun. I love how it's just like this is like talking about sex and zodiac, but also talking about this date and Kayla probably being a freak. Love to see it, girl. Anyway, so there's that on Pisces.
No notes for Rachel. I just know that Rachel was Rachel because I don't like her.
I literally just like I was like Rachel got a little more sexy. I think she was like trying and she kind of tried to get a little sexy and then she's rolled something off. I don't fucking remember too. Again, same. I'm with the proof that these roses and like the date winners and shit are arbitrary. But then Katie was also mostly bleeped.
So many bleeps. I want to hear it so bad.
I have a few quotes that I pulled from her and it was like teasing her. She slowly pulled down his pants and traced her hands and then bleep. And then she squeezed her hands tight, or legs tightly around him. And then she did a full like, oh yes, like orgasm and noise at the end.
Yes.
And then Victoria in her interview, of course, immediately is like, these girls are too vanilla. Which I mean, also Capricorn, like Capricorns are freaky as shit too.
She's not wrong. Like it all was seemingly vanilla.
Yeah,
she's not incorrect, but it's also a family show. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how kinky are we trying to get on TV here? Shit, Victoria. So then she starts hers, and honestly, hot take, and this is an unfortunate hot take, but this is the moment that Victoria started redeeming herself to both the audience and the women. And
it was funny.
I'm upset by that. But yeah, Victoria was fucking funny. She's like, she starts, of course, with the king and queen bit, which I'm kind of tired of, but it's whatever. It's her bit.
She made it work for this.
Yeah. She goes, the king and queen were celebrating their royal engagement. And then something down the line of like, she slapped his ass hard. She knew orgasms were real and she was never fake like the girls from his past.
And the way she just like said like
she's like, and then she's getting, this is when I was like, she is mostly bleeped and they're all laughing. And then this is honestly so funny because you can see her, like the laughter, like fuels her. Like she's someone who needs to be on stage because she needs that attention. And she's like, immediately when they're all laughing, she goes, oh, okay, it gets better. Like she like breaks character for a minute. Just like breaks, yeah, we're getting. And then this
she actually wrote that in there because she knew. She's like, pause for laughter, let them know it will get better.
Literally. And then this is when Serena P is like Serena P is watching, is like fully spitting her water out there while Victoria is getting bleeps over and over in the background. Like I just literally, we don't even know. I don't know what she said. Bleeps, bleeps, bleeps. And then it was, and then they bleeped together, obviously came together, and he screamed, "Yes, queen." Like it was funny.
It was
It
funny, and I
was
hated the fact that it was funny, but
it
it
was
was funny.
horrible, but it was funny. And yeah, she was just like really validated by everybody laughing so hard. And again, this is when everyone's starting, and Sarah in the background of all of this, I just wasn't taking any notes on it, but more throughout the whole date, she's stressed out and she is
She's having
interviewing
the
with the
worst time.
producers. Yeah, very upset. She's clearly jealous. She is the only one who's like openly aggressively jealous. So yeah, and then Rachel is like, "Okay, it was so fun, love it," and then also, I wrote that she's so pretty, and I hate it. Like, I hate that Rachel is very pretty.
Yeah,
to me.
I agree. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like she's not attractive just because I think she's got a shit
like
personality, and
every single one of these women is very gorgeous. So, all right. So now we have all of the other women are talking about the date. So, like the women that we're watching, this is essentially setting Sarah up for her downfall. But talking kind of about like what they would have written, and Sarah mentions immediately that she is showing, like, she's like, her jealousy is popping. But this is something that I want to know about Sarah and why I don't think she's being as shady as everyone wants her to be. Is she like immediately tells them, she's like, I am feeling kind of jealous, and it's just like was weird to see that, but like, you know, I understand. Like, she wasn't being super aggressively awkward up front right then, but she said it felt dirty watching that. And I feel like that's a fair observation. And especially amongst all of these people who are supposed to be like Christian, holier than thou, or whatever. But yeah, so this is like she starts tearing up already in her like interview during this moment. But this is yeah, so that was the moment of Sarah, basically.
I feel like it, like you're saying, like, I think those are completely valid feelings, and I would definitely feel the same way. All of those women probably feel that way to some degree. Like, no one likes watching your boyfriend date 30 other women. But no one likes that.
It's also annoying to me too, though, that like all of them are like, well, we all feel this way, and it's like, okay, well then you could also say something. Like, you don't have to.
No,
just
and that's fair. But I think it's like, I think that the women
Sarah was
saying
just playing
that
the fucking game.
Yeah, and I think that's like what the women are pissed off about, is the fact that, like, if it's genuine, and that's what Anne is saying, is like, if you want the validation and you want the attention, and if this is what's up, then like just fucking say so, because we're telling you that we see it. So just be upfront with us, but like stop turning it into like more victimization than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And we see it at the end of the episode, when she doesn't bring up her dad, she brings up the women attacking her. And that was my red flag for Sarah.
She does bring up her dad and the family, but she doesn't bring it up to the extent at which she
That's what I mean. Like, I'm hoping it's a
it.
producer cut. Like, I'm hoping that it's an edit, but like
I definitely feel like it probably was because and I mean, but also like same. I mean, those women were literally threatening her. Whenever they said this is going to be a horrible place for you to live and shit like that. That's just it's just all of the stuff they were saying to me felt very much like punishment outweighing the crime. Like, I was like, why are y'all are piling the fuck on when like this doesn't have, y'all don't. And Victoria too being very aggressive. Again, we'll get there. It's later. But where are we now in this date? Oh yeah, we're back to the I just want to get through this fucking group date. Rachel tells Matt she was uncomfortable. We're like giving her all. Matt's like, whatever. He's like says to Rachel he's excited about how their relationship is progressing, which I'm like,
there's a whole bunch of fucking nothing.
Yeah,
It was,
boring
you
shit.
literally see the moment where she has to think about the fact, like, oh, do I have to open up now? Like, do I have to say something kind of vulnerable now? Like,
I
oh,
don't think she
okay.
has anything. I feel like she's gonna have no PTC, like nothing like that.
It
You know what I
was the
mean?
blandest conversation I've ever seen.
Yeah. And so Katie's talking to about how she wants and needs time with Matt, which is setting up the Sarah run in later. Bree talks about alluding to her date. It's like, did you notice that I talked about my date? And he's like, yeah, I did. Let's see. They don't really, yeah, I was just like, they don't really say, they also don't say much. Him and Bree. Um, let's see. They're literally, yeah. I was just like, they're just the same person, Bree and Matt. They just say the same things back and forth to each other.
Absolutely.
And Brie also says she was, I guess they were talking about being on the same page about keeping intimate details about their relationship private, which is basically like, if we fuck in the fantasy suite, don't tell.
Well, I think it was more like
way down the line.
Well, I think it was more like she didn't want to give away too much about what she was like in bed because she thinks that some of those things should still be like discovered intimately just between the two of them.
AKA she a freak girl. And then okay, yeah, you're right. All right. Okay.
We
then
get the date
sorry,
card
I was
showing
I was
up.
like looking at I was like, this is when we get the date card. Yeah, Abigail's like, I hope I get the date card because she hasn't had a one-on-one yet. She's probably gonna get a one-on-one later in time because they want to put her in the position of not letting her get to know Matt well enough, but wanting her to be the bachelorette. Anyway. And then the day is for Serena P, one-on-one, and it's let love lead the way. And the women are all sad and happy, and are sad, but she's like happy because she's guilty, blah, blah, blah. Sarah is not downstairs and is upstairs doing something else, crying or whatever. And Sarah says that she's being triggered by this, like the last date, because she says in the past she's been dealing with faithfulness and commitment issues. So honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. She went to Mizzou and she was in a sorority in Mizzou. So of course she was probably dating a frat boy who probably fucking cheated on her with like her sorority sister or something. You know what I mean? Like that's like what this story is telling me, is that she just like dated a shitty dude and he was like a trash human and was like, I'm cheating on you all the time. You know what I mean?
I find it so hard. The thing is that like I liked Sarah initially, but like I have not been shy about the fact that, as she states multiple times, when you sign up for this show, you know what you're getting into. And we said it
it's
about
hard
somebody.
for me to understand. Yeah.
But it's like we said, I can't remember who we said it about last season or whatever, but it's like, if you know, Jason, if you know that you have issues opening up, if you know you have issues with commitment, if you know that there is something that could even possibly hinder the process, then this process is probably not right for you, because it's going to always be more intense than you imagine. So like always assume the worst is going to happen and like don't come in the first place. You're here to be an influencer. We know that. We know. And it's okay. No one's judging you because that's all it is. Yeah, she'll be completely. I have feelings about her exit. So I'm really not worried about Sarah whatsoever. But it's just, I find it really hard to have sympathy for her, because it's like, if you knew that you were if you knew you had such bad like jealousy and infidelity issues, then you should have known that
there's always someone. There's always
right,
someone
and
on
that
the
person
show,
should never be there. That person should never be there.
But that person is always cast there because they always need that person to voice the fact that it's fucking crazy that we're all dating the same person, huh? Whoa. Anyway, so then
I have a lot of feelings. Sarah pissed me the fuck off this episode.
This is when Sarah walks to the date and to interrupt the group date.
Yeah.
And she interrupts Katie, who Katie had been like, I want to talk to him. I need to talk to him. So that obviously this is setting up this rivalry. Victoria immediately would, she's like, I would interrupt my own group date, but not other people's. It's like Victoria says shit every time. I'm like, damn girl, you just said that. You really did. I mean,
is she wrong?
Nah, it's not wrong. It's just so funny how she's like, I'd interrupt you people right here, but like, I wouldn't come up to
But
another
that's the
date.
thing. Like, she would be aggressive for time that could be hers, but she's not going to like encroach on someone else's time.
Yeah.
Like, as far as she's
I
concerned,
just
if she's on
think
the date, it's up for grabs.
I just think everybody bitching about time, that's their own problem. Like literally, like if you are if someone
Oh,
is getting
okay.
it's a
For the
lot of
most part, yes. But if someone just walks in and is, and we're about to get there, but like, every time one of the women were like talking to her, they were talking to Sarah. They weren't like, Matt, can you ask Sarah to leave? Like, Katie goes back in and is speaking to Sarah, but Sarah's looking to Matt. You watch Sarah look to Matt to be like, Matt, stand up for me. Matt, stand up for me. Because she
yeah,
has
because
nothing
that's
to
what she
say.
needs.
She
And
has no
well, and
leg to
also
stand on.
but also that's exactly what you're supposed to do, what you should be doing in this, because yeah, she has nothing to say because again, all she wants to do is talk to Matt because that's the fucking game. That's what you're supposed to be doing
Right.
is
No,
talking
and
to
that's
Matt. And
right.
and had
And no
she
one's
not
saying that it's not, but it's
and
not.
had she
She
not
came out of
left,
her way.
oh, I'm not saying back to, I am not saying that the women do not have reasons to be angry and upset at Sarah. I just think everything Sarah did was go girl, you do the damn thing. But it was definitely messy and as you said, poorly executed. But in that moment too, it is a look to the lead because Matt is the one who has the say of like, actually I still want to talk to her, or actually, yeah, Sarah, could you go so I could talk to Katie? You know what I
And
mean? Like,
of course, he like didn't say anything.
because Matt's a fucking idiot. That's the
Right,
problem with
exactly
Matt.
though.
It's not
But
has that
that's
that
why,
part wasn't a Sarah issue. That was a Matt being like,
well, no, because
I don't know.
that's why I was getting frustrated that she kept looking back. Because if he didn't answer the first time and he wasn't going to tell Katie to go away the first time,
No, like
he's not going to tell her the second or the third time.
I need you to know that these are the kinds of fire signs, Matt and Sarah, who date for like 5 years. I'm about to drag you unintentionally in a double fire
Don't.
sign relationship. No, it's
Mm.
like the kinds of, it's not even, but it's like these are the kinds of fire signs who date. This is why Aries and Sagittarius do very well, weirdly, in this zone, because Aries and Sag don't want to really commit. And so they'll like date in this zone of like together, not together. We're like fucking still, but we're also mad at each other and we're like seeing other people, but we're back together. It's like fire signs love that drama. And Sagittarius and Aries are both the like, let's not commit and let's just have fun. So these are the kinds of people that I could see them like, especially because they both have Venus in domicile. What that means that it's a Venus in its home planet. So Matt being a Libra Venus and Sarah being a Taurus Venus is they're both very much like in this romance zone yet, and they want that, yet their fire signs like send them in this endless spiral of like being a commitment phobe weirdo and like freaking out. And also Aries, the fire starter, but they don't know how to fucking put anything out. So of course she has no leg to stand on because she fucking Aries starts a fucking fire and then it's like, oh shit.
Well,
Now what?
I think that's what's bothering me about her going like
You're
so
like,
big.
give me the follow through, bitch.
Like, yeah, but it's like you're swinging so big, right? You need validation that we see on air 3 different times in a 24-hour period. 3 different fucking times. And then you want to talk about how difficult it is for you. Who else gets that? What other contestant has gotten that kind of validation from the lead 3 times? One of those times from a date that they weren't even on.
Yeah, she definitely positioned herself to be the front and
She's
center.
swinging, she's swinging far too big for what she's capable of handling smoothly. And it's like she could have done this. This could have been executed in a way where she was still friendly with all the women and she wouldn't have had that like weird ultimatum.
Oh,
But she just wasn't capable.
I highly doubt this would have been executed in any way that the women would have liked her. I think there was no matter what anything she would have done, despite even trying to be nicer and going to like I get because no
Oh, I
matter
think if she
what.
dropped the "my dad is sick" thing initially, when the women were like, "What's so important that you're not
I
even
don't I
telling us
don't
while
quite
you're here?"
understand why she's been so sus with the women about it. It's like she seems there must be something about her that's like very private. I'm really thinking she's probably a Scorpio rising since like most of these fucking women are, but like I could really see that with her being a Scorpio rising because she is something like she is so reserved. And back to
But you get what
again,
I'm saying, where like some of the way that the pieces have happened, like the way that the things have gone down and like the way that things have been said and what's
yeah,
been said, it just like doesn't add
I
up to
just
be kosher.
wonder,
Like something's
yeah.
not right about it.
And it's also hard because like the producers are obviously creating this narrative that we can see, and so we have
Of
no fucking
course.
clue what the fuck she said to any of these women off camera, to Matt,
Right.
to
Like, was she
whatever.
actually that flustered when she was confronted? We'll never know.
Right, like who knows. And but all I can say is I still will stand by me not liking how intense the reaction to Sarah was. I was just like, damn, y'all. Again, back to Mars and Aries retrograde. I was like,
Oh,
shit, this is just
well,
like a
we know that women always get a lot more confident, or like haters get more confident when there's another hate. That's no
and also,
mystery.
well, and also when like there is nothing worse, and I'm gonna give this one to Sarah too. There is nothing worse than apologizing for literally anything to a large group of people who have been shit talking you, because no matter what, all of those people are going to pile on with how they felt about the situation, and that's just a lot to personally take on. Like that was,
Oh, she
at
might
this
have gotten
point,
away with it if it wasn't for fucking Victoria. Victoria was doing the same thing she did with Marilyn, except this time Victoria was like not right, but like
but in the on the
right.
other side, right? And that
Yeah,
was, and
yeah.
that was annoying because Victoria, well, because she really was, Sarah was. I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if Sarah was literally leading down the path in her apology. We're kind of skipping ahead, but like whatever, we'll still
Not
get back to it.
really.
Yeah, we're like all of in it, but
Because the next thing I have after, I'll cut
well,
this
it's
part out, but I get
Sarah.
like Sarah interrupts Katie, Katie goes back, and then Sarah apologizes to the women. So all we really
Yeah,
missed
but
was Katie going back.
I have some more in here, but space is like Sarah is definitely giving Matt the like I'm here for the right reasons of like I want to be with you, but these women are I'm stressed and like I missed you or all that stuff, which is a common thing. We do see this storyline of like, oh, we haven't had time, like later usually. That's why she's like, I'm surprised this is so early. But anyway, and then the other women convinced Katie to go get Sarah, which I was like, ooh, Katie, don't be that girl, don't be that girl. That moment I was kind of like, yikes. And then she
I like that.
stands in, I mean, I like Katie a lot, and later I love her too, and the way she reacts to lots of things. But this moment of her standing over this situation watching, I was like, yikes. Only because that for me isn't looking good to Matt. That looks great to us. And the producers, like, we're loving that.
Yeah.
But Matt is probably like, who at that moment was very much into Sarah, is watching Katie stand there while Sarah's
Yeah.
distracted. It's
Oh my
just like,
God, when she sits down on the couch,
I was like, so it was a lot for me. That
it
was where
was a
I was
lot.
like getting secondhand embarrassment of like, Katie, come on. Like, oh God, you're better than
Yeah.
this. Anyway, but then again, when she comes, she tries to interrupt them twice and she's like, okay, it's time. And she's like, can you just 5 minutes? She's like, maybe two. Oh God. But, and then it was just like Sarah. Yeah. Then I go back to Sarah apologizing. And this is when everyone starts to try like to pile. She says that she didn't know that she would have, she didn't know when she would have time to say it to him. And honestly, as much as everyone's like, this is sorry, hang on.
It was, yeah, it was day one of the entire week.
But also, I will say, you never fucking know with time and any of this, because like, and I will say, like, yes, she was gonna probably be on a group date, and yeah, everyone gets time, sure, but
Well, but that's it though. Is like if you are being gifted the potential time by getting sent on a date. What you do on your date is up to you. And if you sink or you
yeah,
swim, that's on you. But you were gonna
yeah,
get the opportunity to do your fucking thing, and you decided that your time was more valuable than everyone else's.
game. But all right, Sarah. Okay, so this is when Sarah's extra awkward, but goes apologist, blah 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 blah. She says she's all right. Victoria obviously is the one who's making the biggest scene, as we said. Yeah, so this is where Victoria is like, we were worried. Oh, this is no, this is
This
after
was
she walks
shady as
out.
fuck. Yeah.
But Yeah, so Victoria's obviously like, no, I won't accept your apology. I'm not speaking for the other women, but I will literally never accept your apology, even if you say it 20 more times. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And again, she's doing the same thing as Marilyn, which is when you know that your opponent in an argument is like it's like winning, or is like starting the process of getting their argument off the floor. Back to what we were saying, Sarah seems like she was going down the path of, I've been feeling this for a while, it's not just the date, and then that's just like, well, oh, have you? Like Victoria's just like, because Sarah, I think, probably was maybe going to lean down to like, yeah, and honestly, my family, my sick dad, ALS, that kind of thing. So it's like, but Victoria, of course, was just picking in it, because again, when people like Victoria can sense that they're going to there's going to be maybe something rational said, Victoria's like, no, nope, nope. And she just kind of interjects. And then I feel like Sarah balked, probably because she thought Victoria was speaking for everyone. Like, despite Victoria saying, I don't speak for everyone. But then, yeah, Sarah leaves and goes outside to cry. And Victoria fucking goes outside and is like, we were worried about you, Sarah, and like about your health. Like, we were worried that you were sick and upset. And you just like didn't want to talk to us. Meh.
Which is obviously a fucking lie. I will tell you that this was the most like manipulative, like backhanded thing I've ever fucking seen.
I was impressed and distressed, because like, it was jarring to me, because not only is she positioning herself to Sarah as someone like, look, we care, but Victoria is trying really hard already to rehab herself. Like, she's trying to make herself better to
You
the
think?
other. Oh, no. Not in a way of like, I'm trying to be better. No, she's trying to rehab her image. She's trying to already, she's like, I'm trying to like, she's trying to use this as like, ooh, everyone is starting to be all over Sarah now, and they're not fighting me. And now it's time for me to go and be away. And like, I'm going to position myself as this person in the front of like, Victoria, I just see right through her. That Mars in Cancer is so strong to me.
See, that's
because
so it's interesting you say that, because I feel like I see right through her, but not for that reason. I feel like that was the most obvious, obvious passive aggressive display. And I don't think she was trying to rehab her image. I think she was trying to like be obviously a bitch.
No, that's what I agree. I agree with you. She was trying to be a bitch to Sarah, but in the eyes of the other women, she's and to stupid people watching this TV
like,
show. That's what I'm saying.
My enemy is my friend.
She's trying to create, she's trying to make herself look better with being, no.
I thought you were, that's why I was like, no, I'm sorry, you thought she was doing what?
This is what I'm saying. Mars in Cancer, she's being the most passive aggressive person. I'm watching her do shit that I have done, like where you're trying to be like, oh my God, we care so much about you. I care. Me, the person who's been making a big ass scene.
I read it as like, no, I mean, like, we were worried about your health, because if you were going to dare interrupt my time, it must have been something so fucking important that it must have been your goddamn health. Because what else could it have been that you interrupted my time?
Well, see, it's either that, and I think that is like the Capricorn side, but the Cancer side is the like, I'm so worried about your health, because like you could be sick, and I just want to pretend that like I give a shit about your health, even though it is the real reason. The real reason is well,
why were you talking to him?
Exactly. It's the feigning of the caring, the Cancer Mars part of like, I just want you to be like healthy and well, healthy, wealthy, thriving, but also you dumb bitch. Why'd you fucking take my time if you weren't dying? Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot. I do not. And that's why I think that Victoria is the real issue, and everybody is projecting a lot of their Victoria feelings towards Sarah, despite the fact that Sarah is being shitty, but like, because
I think they both suck.
Well,
for different reasons.
Sarah has only been doing this for one day, or I guess if you count the rose ceremony night, but that isn't really in my mind, because I'm thinking about the direct time interruption of the date. That only happened once, whereas Victoria interrupts everything, like, and has made everything about herself. And her and Marilyn's drama took time away from half the women. And Victoria night one took people time away from half the women by stealing from everybody.
Oh,
like,
don't get me wrong, that was fucked up. But
oh,
Sarah
no, no,
sure
no, no.
had a lot of feelings
Oh,
about.
but this is what I'm saying is all of the other women have had multiple days, multiple cocktail parties and group dates where Victoria has been stealing time from them. And then once Sarah does it, they're lumping it all to Sarah. And they're like, you've been stealing my time. Some of us haven't had time with him at all. And it's like, okay, well, that's not only Sarah's fault. Like, you have to remember that Victoria is the original reason that most of these women have not had time, or supposedly what we've seen. You know what I mean?
I do
So
feel
that's where
like
I'm like, it's the
that
projection
does
of
make
like,
sense though, because Sarah did it. So right now I'm mad at Sarah because Sarah just did it. If I'm still
right.
mad at Victoria, even though,
I know.
I get what
I
you're
know.
saying,
I
but it's
don't think
like,
she's again.
if
I
you
think
do the
they're
same thing
mad
to
at
me that
Sarah.
this person did, I'm not gonna like still be mad at this person. I'm gonna get mad at you when you do
It's
it.
just it's the amped level at which they were mad, because with Victoria, most of these people wrote her off as being fucking crazy, so they weren't like leaning into her, and they were all being upset, but they were like, I don't know, she's a lot, you know. But with Sarah, they're like, it's like, so
But I think
and
it ties back to the fact that all the time Victoria, and I'm not saying, like I said, neither is possible. It's both,
I know
they're
it's
both
really
garbage
hard to
behaviors.
defend and
But
talk
it's,
about people who are shitty.
yeah. But I will say, like, the main difference is that Sarah interjected on a date that she was not on, whereas the only time that Victoria stole from other women was time she could have had to begin with.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it is like they're the same, but like slightly different.
I just
But the
admire
same.
Sarah. I admire Sarah. I'm intrigued. I love Sarah's gameplay. I love watching this show of her. I think she's also going to come back. I can't wait.
She's not gonna leave. She's not going
Anyway,
anywhere.
so Victoria is for 2 seconds trying to be like less annoying, and then Katie pops up and is like, "Here I am," and is like trying to talk to Sarah also, but is a little more confrontational than Victoria's fake passive aggressive bullshit. But then anyway, Matt comes out to talk to the women, notes Sarah's not there. Or wait, yeah.
Well, so
Sarah leaves, Matt comes up to talk to the women. After he walks her out, all the women are like, I wish Sarah was here. Like,
can I say that something that something I did find frustrating, and like this is another one of those moments where it's like just the whole thing is just not kosher to me, and I have trouble believing her, even when I look past the fact that there's producer manipulation always, is that like she says in a talking head interview that she feels more confident. Like, I know that my relationship with him is like far surpassed some of these other relationships, but then like her whole big thing is insecurity. But you're so sure that your relationship with him is so much better than everyone else's. So like you can wait a week. If it's about your dad, it's about your dad, and that's fine. But don't.
It's complicated. And but to me, she's being very Taurus Venus, because she's just being possessive. Like, that's really what it is.
And that's,
she's
I
being
think it's
possessive of Matt, and that's a very Taurus Venus. She set her sights on her man. She went on her date with her man, and now she sees her man talking about sex with other women, and that's not fly. That's not fly for her. No defense, because this is annoying and stubborn. But and Aries too. She's like, I'm the best. I want to win. She's
yeah. I feel like her issue and like her motivation for leaving, her motivation for the tears, whatever, changes depending on what's convenient for her audience and for the moment.
I know. I wish I knew her rising sign so badly.
And that's all I gotta say about that. It's convenient how it's never it's not, yeah. Okay.
But anyway, Rachel gets the group date rose for no fucking reason. I don't know. And then Anna is all pissed because she still hasn't talked to him, and she's turtling so much and just not fucking talking to him. Like, girl, talk to him. Like, I don't know.
I don't understand what's going on with Anna.
Anna makes no sense to me.
And
also, Anna is going to stress me out next episode if what I see is true. So anyway, now we have, oh my God, why do I still feel like I have so many notes and I hate this? Okay, let's just fucking push it. I'm trying to go to bed soon.
All there really is the one-on-one. All really is the one-on-one, because we don't get a fucking rose ceremony.
Yeah. So anyway, Katie says that she was up late, barely slept. She wanted to see if Sarah is here, which I'm just like, girl, what? Go to sleep. Like,
but it's like, it's more bullshit about Sarah. It's all the same. That's what, like, it's
Katie tells Mari, yeah, Sarah isn't sure she wants to be here.
Will she, won't she? Will she go home? Will she not go home for like the next 20 minutes?
Yeah. Matt wants to talk to the women. Sarah's not there. He goes to look for her. He can like reassures her. Anna's like, I don't think she wants to go. She's just looking for Matt to say no. He doesn't want her to go, which is true.
That's totally
Matt does
accurate.
that. Matt does that. She's like, I feel like I would be able to go. He would go, that would be a tragedy. I thought that was funny. That would be a tragedy. And he says he wants her around. MJ is thinking Sarah's manipulative. Victoria says she's killing the vibe, which I'm like, no, Victoria, you have constantly killed the vibe this whole time. The girls are not. Oh, and this is when Matt tells Sarah, obviously the girls aren't going to be happy, but it's about me and you. I will come here every day to stop by and say I'm here thinking about you. And then they kiss, and then she's like, I can't leave.
Can I tell you though, really fast, Shannon, because this makes me think of like the worst kind of enabling.
No, these two are like not. That's why I'm saying like it's like the
Oh
fire
my
sign
God.
cycles, and I genuinely think that they're gonna. I think they're gonna date. I feel like Matt picks Noah and they still date.
It stressed me out. Him saying that, I was like, no, don't do that, because that's exactly what she wants. Like, you need to set boundaries.
No, he will never. He will never do that. So then that's when they. Oh, and that's right. They were all pissed because she took time from Serena, despite the fact that. I mean, yeah, whatever. She was just upstairs and Matt wants to talk to her. So yeah, everyone is just complaining that she was upstairs. Serena was waiting for the date and they go on the date.
Well, because what a weird thing for him to have to do. Why did he have to talk to Sarah?
Because he likes her. Like, that's what's fucking funny. Is like he likes her and she
so much,
he likes her
clearly.
more than most of these other women, very clearly. And that's why he was like, it was like a bummer whenever she left. You know, he was all bummed.
Well, I think that probably also has a lot to do with why the women are so annoyed, because it's very obvious to us as the viewer and very clearly to them that he likes her. So they're like, please fucking stop. Like, you already have it. Like, at least if you're so confident, at least give us a chance.
Yeah. Why would Sarah do that? No.
Well, for the same, because of what Katie said, you don't want to get selected and then be like, oh, well, like, was I a consolation because that other person left? Or like, did he only pick me because he never got to know the other women? That's not a good basis for any relationship.
No, I loved what Katie said. I thought everything Katie said was amazing. And I think that it's going to come up. God, I love it. Okay. So when he goes up to Sarah, he literally fully collapses on top of her. Like, this was like boyfriend girlfriend shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he like fully laid on top of her. She's under the covers. He's like, wake up. Like, but that was before the conversation, but whatever. Okay. So anyway, Serena ready to go. Matt says he would have spent time with anyone. Oh, this is when he tells all the women, I would have spent that time with anyone who was feeling that type of way. We all have these feelings and we all have to work through like shit like that. And I was like, all right, Matt, set them in their place.
I think he's a liar, but I think that was the right thing to say.
That is exactly what the producers told him to say,
and that's exactly it. Is like, you know, that wasn't true, but like it was exactly what he should have said.
And then this is when all the women are super getting upset. And I was like, maybe I'm biased, but it seems extreme. And I was like, they are all doing like insane time math. Like they were like, she had 5 minutes with him this time and then 7 minutes over here and then 6 minutes last night. And then instead of that minute, I was like, damn, they are literally like, this is one of those moments where I was like, y'all are bored. Like,
can you imagine? Y'all are, oh my God,
so bored. You're sitting here and doing all of this time math. And it was so stupid. So anyway, I also made my prediction that did not come true, that I was like, something about this felt like, I was like, why do I feel like Serena is not going to survive this date? But she did. So this date was boring. They went on a horse date, which was classic. They sat and picnicked around donkeys. She made fun of him for having a pet turtle.
It was a very cute, very bland, like very
like
relatable,
normal, whatever
conversation. Yeah. She
makes fun of Matt for having had a turtle whenever he was a kid, which isn't like, why would you make fun? Like, don't make fun of the pet. He'll be upset by that. They a toast to unconventional living and breaking the norm. Her dad. She said something about her dad being unsupportive about being on the show. Then there was a donkey that interrupted them kissing. and it was dumb. And then she said, I'm falling in like. I'm surprised how much I like him, I guess. So whatever. And then more bitches talking about Sarah, Anna, Serena seeing Kayla. Serena. Oh, I think Serena is adorable, by the way. Serena P, the little one on the date.
You think she's Serena like, P is?
The little, she's so cute. Just like chirpy, la la la
okay,
la. And her little, and her, I loved her high ponytail for the night portion of the day.
The dinner portion. Oh my God. She was stunning.
She looks so good. She said that the donkeys were intruding on our time. And then Matt asks about previous relationships. She says she's not a casual dater, only dated one serious guy. Eventually said she was like deeply in love with him, and then asks him the same questions back. And he's like, I was in a relationship about a year ago for 4 months. Okay, sure. And
which I believe that's the girl that he was spotted with in Manhattan.
Oh, that makes sense.
With Tyler and Gigi.
Yeah. And says that he's only looking to marry people that he might date. So this is a very weird Libra Venus thing that he's saying, which is like, I want to date people, but I also want to get married, and I don't want to date people that I don't want to marry. And so it's like, when you're dating someone, it's like, well, how do you date someone and know you want to marry them if you're not
that's
dating?
What it's like, no, what he's saying is that he's dating to marry. So if he doesn't see a future, as soon as he doesn't see a future, he stops dating. Which is what I do. I don't casually date. Like if I am going to spend time with you, it's because I see a future. And if I don't see a future, I'm not going to date you. Yeah. So I think that's what he's saying.
Big interesting mood on him. I'm wondering if I feel like, yeah, we'll play the game later, moon and rising sign guess, but I have my guesses. And so then she's like, have you ever been in love? And he's like, oh no. He's like, if you asked me this when I was younger, I would have said yes. I have a different view of love now. And then he asks about her. She's like, I was deeply in love with my ex, and I know that feeling. She goes, she was caught off guard by how fast things have moved. She said she could see herself moving to potentially falling in love with him. So it's like this weird level of like love level here where you're like, I like you, but I could fall in love with you maybe down the line. I don't know. He says the feeling is mutual. Then they make out and he gets the rose. She gives the rose and then we're done. Okay, great. Serena's date was just like, cool, cute, fine. And now Sarah's been hiding still. Everyone's mad. Kit is like, someone's like, is something about some we're still missing Sarah, and she's like, well, I don't miss her. Kit, Jesus. Kit and Victoria 100% are those mean girls who just sit in the corner and are like, wow, because they definitely are popping off the most comments where I'm like, oh God, you really okay? Like when Kit later is like, I don't want to
shit talkers.
I don't want to hear her or see her, hear her name or see her in my presence ever again. I'm like, okay, Kit, well, you'll be at a rose ceremony with her at some point, maybe. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It's just like,
she'll be around.
And this is when Sarah starts to come down to apologize to the women after Rachel goes to read the date card, which we don't even get. I don't think she reads it.
Date card comes in. But then I was surprised Sarah appears and she interrupts everything.
Sarah, I also thought it was so funny that Sarah sat next to Bree and then like under this blanket with her, and Bree's like, yeah, come on. Because mood as Bree, the Sagittarius super stellium over there, is kind of like, if we've noticed, she hasn't been saying like really anything. Like she hasn't really been in the shit talking. Like she was on the smut date and was like, but wasn't like saying a lot of bad shit about Sarah. And so Sarah sits next to her and she's like under the blanket. And I'm just like thinking about it. Like Bree probably doesn't give a fuck. Like Bree's like, yeah, these girls hate you, but I don't really care. You're fine. Like,
because like Bree's probably incredibly confident in her own relationship where she's just fucking unbothered.
Bree is
she's
smart.
Like, you can get all the attention you want. I get my own attention every time he's around. So it's do whatever you feel you need to
Bree's
do.
Got it. And this is when she starts doing the apologies, and this is everyone starts piling on. Kylie is like, she can't that they can't explore relationships if she monopolizes the time. Victoria again, this is not the Sarah show. Abigail is like, if you don't want to be here, then why take that rose from someone who does? Anna's like, you've not had it difficult. You literally had a one-on-one. Kayla said something that everything was going too fast at this point, so I didn't get that. Serena C says she's trying to make Matt feel a type of way or something. Like and this is where I'm kind of starting to be like, okay, whoa, like, like Matt has his own feelings. So when they're all trying to be like, you're trying to make Matt think this about you and this about us, I'm just like, what? I don't think so. I think she's just that's where Matt can feel his feelings, and Matt's going to talk to her on his own. Like, he didn't send a producer to go get her, like he was like, oh, I'll go get her. Like, Matt's being a dumbass also because Matt's not been on the fucking show before, so he's being swept up in all of this bullshit in a different way we haven't seen lately, I think. You know what I mean?
Yes, I see what you mean. I just don't feel the way that you feel about Sarah. I don't see her as the same person that you see. I do think that she's manipulative, and I think that the women piling on is because all of the women saw the same thing. And when they started hearing all the other women chime up about it, they felt validated and they felt comfortable coming forward. And I think that the pile on is like unnecessary.
I literally hate that.
And really, really rude. But I don't think that any of them were wrong. I do think that she is, whether it's in her subconscious or conscious intention, she is being manipulative and she is trying to get a certain type of reaction from him. And it's working.
Well, she's getting it. And again, back to she's playing that fucking game, right?
And right, but that's it though, is that she's playing the game, and like you kind of, I don't want to say you can't have it both ways because you can. There's obviously some truth to both, but like she's either playing a game or she's being genuine.
I mean,
but if she's a little bit of one, she can't be 100% of the other. You know what I mean?
Like, if she wants Matt, she's got to fucking go for it.
Right, but then it's not like it's coming from a total place of truth then.
And I'm also not defending Sarah in a way of like she's being a good person. I think she's being smart as far as being on this show. That's where I'm coming from for Sarah. Yeah, I think that this is annoying behavior, and I would be annoyed by her. I would probably be annoyed by her presence, just like as a person, but also she is that. So
I think I feel like the women are more justified in their feelings than you do. I think that's what makes it first.
I just think that everyone is getting a little aggressive on it, and I'm like, this is early, and y'all are freaking out this much. This is why I was thinking about the astrology of it being Mars. With Mars and Aries at that time.
These are the rose ceremonies that have the most cuts at once, though.
Yeah, they are all.
It's not like it's later where it's one person going home.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I also generally, maybe I'm just my own self triggered because I have been in positions where like women or like groups are doing this moment where they're jumping all at you, and it in those moments, it is super hard to get your thoughts straight and have something to say in response, especially if it's like a lot of complicated feelings. And like this situation is very weird, of course, because you're dating everybody. So I don't know. I just like was watching this and it was stressing me out because I was like, damn, these girls are I'm like, and she was like,
no, they were all like using each other's confidence to hype themselves up.
Yeah, which is like that's where it was stressful. And I guess like it was because that's I think you're right. It didn't start that bad for me. It got bad because it really was we're like piling one, and it was like
you think that? I also think that
it was each woman. Each woman was trying to one up each other, which is why I was getting stressed at the end when they were like, "This is going to be a really bad place for you to live." It was just like, "Ooh, that's like scary." Even if it's obviously what the fuck they're going to do, they can't do anything as far as like kill her, you know what I mean? But like just shit like that where it's like that's especially in her like think about being in a sorority and she's like
we know from being from reality TV, like every reality TV show you've seen has amplified this like you're fake, you're real, you're fake, you're real type of culture. And people are so concerned about like, first of all, people throw around the words fake like willy fucking nilly. Like everyone is fake according to everybody, right? But it's like these girls are trying so hard to establish like this is where I stand with you, so no one get fucking confused. I don't like you, so no one can call me fake, like blah blah whatever. It seems like they're trying too hard to like this is where I stand.
Yeah, it was a lot. I just was
uncomfortable. I agree.
It was uncomfortable to watch especially because again, back to we all know Sarah's actually got some real shit going on at home, and half of these women I'm like, what do you what do you got? Like this woman, like Sarah literally fucking takes care of her father who's dying. Like,
And I guess like
it's
I
like,
don't mean to seem cold. Like I'm really not
oh
trying
no,
to
no,
seem
no, no.
cold because I'm super
We're
empathetic,
talking
but
about this
like
in a vacuum. So
right,
it's
but it is so hard to like I you you're a victim of your circumstances. Like
yeah.
you if I understand like everyone's I can't judge because like you walk miles in the shoes, like whatever. Like I don't know what it's like to be in her situation. But if it is that dire, I understand wanting the experience, but like you should have weighed these things beforehand. Like this is a
Yeah.
life-changing thing. This is going to change your life one way or
Yeah.
another.
Oh, I
You
know.
should
She
have
should have,
weighed this
if
ahead of time.
yeah, if you're gonna freak, I mean, God, Aries, she's a fucking Aries. She started something she couldn't finish, which is like every fucking Aries ever. She got on the show and she couldn't stay. Like it's classic. Like she fucking bailed. She flipped out.
Yeah.
And but anyway, this fight was just a lot. And this is where, yeah, fucking Victoria, why do you think we want to make amends with you?
That was funny. That's the thing. Like it was just so
I
perfect
just was
reality
stressed
TV
because yeah,
shady.
well,
Like the drama was
this
good drama.
this was all reality TV
It was awesome.
land. Anyway, so they all, this is, yeah, when they're like talking the living situation. That's when she leaves and she goes to cry. MJ goes to talk to her. Kit is like, literally avoid me at all costs. I never want to see or hear your name ever again. And I'm like, Kit, what the fuck did she do to you?
But like also what Kit?
Yeah. Okay, child.
Or
So
what? Your
I was like,
mom's
these
not
are
gonna let
women
me wear her
annoying.
clothes anymore.
Yeah. And then now MJ, yeah, right. Oh my God.
I'll go to
So
Zimmer down the street.
MJ in the morning is like, she's like, I'm not upset about Sarah's actions, but I am concerned that Sarah's ostracized herself from the rest of her group. And then this is when Katie goes to talk to Sarah and becomes my favorite person ever. Like Katie had an awesome conversation with Sarah. Because first of all, like I was nervous because in general, most normal reality TV land, this would have been a messy conversation, but this was actually a really productive, good conversation between both of them. She says that she was like, I'm nervous that I want to leave. After Katie was like, for me, that was hard to watch the fucking apology, which LOL, I love. She's like, that was hard to watch. Fucking earth signs. And she goes, it's been a combination of things about me wanting to leave. It wasn't just last night. Then Katie, this is when you mentioned this earlier, where Katie said, if you have a connection with Matt, you have to explore that so I don't have to be a backup plan. And Sarah was like, I'm with you. And then she says, but I have to put my well-being first. It's like not good for me mentally to be here.
But
And then
that's
she
the
tells,
perfect example of like we talk all the time about the type of person who should be on this show and the type of person that should not. Like you have to
oh
have that Katie
yeah,
mentality to go on that show. If you, for any
I think
listeners who are
Sarah,
thinking of
again,
applying,
I think Sarah thought she did. I think she absolutely thought she did. But it's the stress. Fuck, man. I don't know. Also, wait, I think she was having a Mars return. Hang on, let me double check. Because I think she was the Aries Mars. Yep. Oh my God. Okay. So she's in Aries Mars. Back to Mars was in Aries at this time. Mars went retrograde. I fucking bet she had been gone for filming like in the beginning of September, but wasn't filming, like doing the quarantine process part. But when Mars went retrograde, that was probably when she was like, I gotta go home. Like, because so retrograde is like internalizing energy. And so she was probably sitting there and just like fucking thinking about like feeling stagnant. Mars in retrograde in Aries is literally, we were all feeling, I mean, if you kind of think about between September and when did it go direct? Like late November. Everybody was stagnant in their energy, but also feeling a lot of weird shit internally, a lot of feelings. And then it all burst out after the election. But with Sarah having her own Mars be in Aries, having a Mars return, it's like that energy of hers, which is usually very forward and active because it's Aries Mars, was stagnant. And so she's probably sitting there like freaking the fuck out that like she's here now and she made a mistake. Aries retrograde, Mars retrograde. So she had to leave, which makes a lot of sense. And I would wonder, now I'm going to look up the filming, like the actual direct filming schedule to see when in time Mars went retrograde for filming, because now
yeah, hell yeah, do it.
but yeah, anyway, so that makes a lot of sense astrology wise, because again, everything astrology is real and it always makes sense. But anyway, so Sarah tells her dad, Sarah tells Katie about her dad, who has ALS, and she's like, yeah, it's like terminal, and it's not just like weeks or months. It's like, or it's not like years or months. It's like weeks or days. And then Katie, this is where I was like, whoa, because she sheds, you and I clocked it. I'm sure you could see it too. You can see her eyes go from normal to glassy to tear out, like in like a second, a full, and then she says to Katie that her dad died, and it gets real fucking real here. She says that she encourages her to go to be with him. She says that she missed out. Katie missed out on her goodbye with her dad. I would never want that for Sarah. And then they have a huge hug, and I'm sitting there watching this like, wow, because these two were the ones that were like at each other's throats, or Katie was the most upset, right? Or the one that was interrupted. And then this happens, and Katie's like, actually, my dad's dead. Like, you should totally. I was just like, wow. Like, anyway, it was real and kind of heavy.
This honestly was kind of why I will be disappointed if she doesn't leave.
Oh, yeah. When she comes back later. What I think is going to happen is like they're going to write it out as she's left, she goes home. And then they fucking fly her back, test her like a bunch of fucking times in as many days as possible as you can, and roll her back in and make it be like, yeah, she's like, I left, but then I was talking to my dad or some shit like that, where it's like, I told my incredibly sick dad that I left for him, and he was like appalled and told me to leave and go back and be with my one true love, Matt James. I could see it. Because if I also now I'm thinking about like the promo we have of him in the future. Also, wow, I just realized Misa's little head is in the corner of this. But anyway, we have Matt being like upset and freaked out that like something is happening toward the end. So I'm wondering like Sarah's back, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, that's all in the future. I'm guessing like last 5 episodes she's back. Maybe sooner, but anyway. But so Katie, yeah, they hug, whatever, and then she goes to talk to the women, and the women are asking like where Sarah is and why she's still avoiding them on day 3. It's been 3 days now. And Katie is like, she comes down and she says that I talked to Sarah, and she says something that I was like, yes, Katie. Yes, Katie, Capricorn queen, triple earth sign queen. She says, I want to remind everyone to stay classy in this process because we don't know our stories. And I just thought that is a great lesson for this show because, yeah, like whatever about Sarah being a dick, but that at least in the leaving part, what Katie said, I thought in that moment of like, look, we all went after her and I talked to her, and like, we don't know what she's been through. So like, let's just lay off. Like, that was a nice
also
moment
like
for me.
In any argument, one person saying it is enough. Like, even if you agree with them, you don't need to say it as well. It's been said. It's probably always been received.
Exactly. It's all of the same. It's the same message over and over and over, rephrased out of different mouths, plus Victoria interrupting at every second. It's like impossible to feel like you've gotten anything to say in that. It's just shitty. As right or wrong as you are, being piled on is not fun. And it's very common in this show. Back to, girl, you've been watching the show. Weren't you expecting it? So anyway, then Sarah goes to see Matt. She apologizes to him, and then this is when they do their little breakup. She's like, our connection's amazing. I'm doubling everything if I can, or doubting if I can do this. I told you how important family is for me, and being away from them is so hard on me. I feel really alone here, and I was attacked by so many women in the house. I went downstairs to apologize to the women about being up in my room, and they attacked me. I do know what I feel about you is real, and our time together and how much I want you here. All that shit. I feel like I blew it. Oh, and this is where Matt. Oh, that was Matt. Sorry. I've realized I'm stopping. I was quoting so many people that I forgot to write their names down. But yeah, Matt tells her something that I think he said on maybe Happy Hour or another podcast, but he said something already. I've noticed this about Matt. Every time he says something, it's like something he said in an interview. Like he does follow up and like say to these people things he said elsewhere. It's just very interesting. But he says, I blew it because I didn't know what to say and I completely dropped the ball on talking to you the first time. I feel like he said that somewhere on a podcast.
I don't know.
That he was,
I don't remember it.
That he was like, I was so nervous night one. I barely remember anything because I was just, yeah. I think he maybe said it night one in an interview. Whatever.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, but
yeah. I didn't like this whole interaction. I thought that she was describing the event in her favor.
Of course she was. I mean,
of course. I did not like it, especially considering all of this shit that we just gave Victoria for how she spoke about Marilyn, or like how much shit I gave. Like, I just can't give her a pass. This whole thing, like her whole, I don't know, something about the way that she carried herself. I fucking hated it.
I sense it. And it's so funny how much I sense it because I feel this way about Victoria. Because for me, Victoria entirely shifted the reality completely away from her. Sarah at least is saying something that is vaguely true. She is saying, I apologized and the women attacked me. That is two, both of those things are correct. Like the women piled on her. Attack is a strong word.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I don't know if attack is necessarily
But she
true.
did say, she said piled on. She said a lot of different things. And so for me, I'm like, those things are at least partially true. Whereas Victoria was like, Marilyn is toxic and I couldn't sleep in the same room as her. Like that was that to me, I was like, what the fuck, Victoria?
I think that they're both villains in their own right, but I think that Victoria's delusional and Sarah is calculated.
Yeah. I'll get
But that. I think that they're both full of shit. I think they're both full of shit. And like, I'm excited to see them both just not anymore. I know we'll see Sarah again, obviously.
And Victoria, since she's still fucking here. I can't believe Victoria's still on this fucking show. But then, yeah, Matt talks up. She says she's prayed about this and she feels really called to go home and be with my family. And then Matt is stone-faced. I mean, come on, you have to use the prayer line for Matt.
No, I know.
Good old Christian boy.
This is the point in which I wrote, like, I was literally like, okay, so we're definitely going to see her again, because if she's not back this season, with this exit, she's definitely getting Bachelor in Paradise. I think my prediction for Sarah is that she's not going to win a ring, and she's definitely not going to become Bachelorette, but I think they're going to put her on Paradise for one season, maybe two. And then I think that, like, after her dad passes, they're going to wait like a year and then she'll be Bachelorette.
That's what I could see her much more being Bachelorette, and definitely it would have to be a dead father situation.
Yeah, like I don't want to say that, but like no ABC way would absolutely capitalize upon that tragedy.
Yeah, because then honestly, in my opinion, I feel like they have to have Abigail. There's no way, in my opinion, that Abigail's not going to be Bachelorette. Yeah, it'll be like
years down the road.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I could see it. I think that she'd be good on Paradise. I think she'd be good as rolling back and freaking Matt out and breaking his heart. I think it'd be fucking all good. It'd be so fun. I'm ready for her to just cause drama. Like, let's give me the drama.
Her heartbroken in Paradise, and it's going to be devastating. And then she's going to have to deal with the tragic loss of her father after the devastating heartbreak.
Yep.
And then ABC is going to be like, you remember.
You deserve it. You deserve this love arc. Let me put you on the show where we're also going to try to destroy you.
I can see it for her now. And it's
God. Well, I will just say, I think if anything, I feel like the reason I'm getting the most offensive is I'm feeling very bothered that my deep prediction for Sarah as ring winner is not coming to fruition, at least at this moment. So maybe that's what it is. And I wanted the girl from Mizzou to be dope. What the fuck?
Maybe that's why I'm extra angry, because like I expected more from her and she did not deliver.
She's killing it on socials though. She's doing all the ALS though. Like it's like everything is ALS, which it makes sense. But it's funny because it's like she's not even trying to capitalize on the Bachelor. She's like endless.
Because she
like,
knows
don't
she
even
doesn't
think about
need
me.
to. Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
the attention will come, so let me just like make sure that I'm doing the right
Yep.
thing as it's coming, which
Yeah.
I appreciate. Like, she's obviously not a monster, but
Yeah.
calculated for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, they leave. He's just like, I know you'll make a guy lucky. I'll pray for you and your dad. Blah blah blah. I won't. And this is where I was like, oh, she's coming back because he's like, I won't forget you. And then she was saying he sees my heart and he knows how important family is to me. He sees my heart and all that bullshit. So I was like, this is just giving me like, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Yeah, I think if she's not back by the end of this season, if she
No,
leaves
but
at
I think
all,
she's coming back for Matt.
No,
Like,
I know. I think that I don't even think she's gonna fully make it off the property. I don't even think that she's gonna go anywhere. I think that she might go home and then come back. She's coming back regardless. We'll see her again. This will not be her last episode. But I don't think that she's even gonna go home.
What I also think could possibly happen.
Gonna call her dad, and her dad's gonna be like, "No, honey, stay."
Yeah, what I feel like is gonna happen is she's gonna. Well, she definitely I feel like is gonna come back on the season, but I feel like what could happen is that Matt picks someone, and then they don't work out, and then he and Sarah like date after the show, like weirdly.
She's the season's Kelly Flanagan.
Yes, they start their fire sign duo, non-committal, all over the place, circling relationship. And I could just see it. I could see it because I don't think that because first of all, also for me as a trashy Sagittarius, watching this happen to Matt, like with Sarah, unrelated. I almost said irregardless. Unrelated to what Sarah did and any of that, thinking just Matt's side of things and what he can see. If this happened to me and a girl I was super into like did this and was like, oh, I'm leaving because I have to do this family, but you can't, like, it has like there's nothing you can do, I would be like, it would sit in my brain like right here and it would not go away and it would be there the whole time. And it would be me waiting for the chance that would get to happen again. And it wouldn't be nearly, and it's not to say that these women are backup plans. He would try and think in front of his mind that he's going for these people, but if he's like, but Sarah, they're not Sarah.
Which is why I think she's calculated because she knows that that's what's going to happen.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. No one's taking it away. No. No one's saying that it's a bad move. But speaking from, I'm separating my game analysis self from my like lover of all things genuine and pure romance.
Genuine and real.
I'm offended. So genuine and real, Sarah.
She's definitely, playing. She's calculating it all correctly. But anyway, there we go. That's that. She sobs in the car and she's out. And we get a promo for next. Yeah, we get a promo for next week, and it seems chaotic. Of course, I'm so bothered that Anna, the one who definitely voted for Bernie, or is donated to Bernie, is the one who is bringing up the sex worker shame. Like,
so that's why I want to just like say this really quick before. Because I'm sure we'll talk about it next week, but just like, in case any listeners are confused, the way that Anna's face moves when she mentions the fact that this woman is an escort leads me to believe that Anna believes that there is some kind of like very serious negative stigma that comes attached to that. And like, sure, it's a little bit taboo in society still, but it shouldn't be. And the quickest way to normalize it is to stop talking about it like it's something evil or disgusting or
and in this
fuck ever.
And in this year of OnlyFans, like, why are we out here going to be shaming people for doing shit like that? Like, relax, girl. Get a life. I can't
imagine. I like her. So, I'm nervous. Anna this far. I've enjoyed Anna. I think she's funny.
I think Anna's fine. I think she's a good, colorful narrator that'll never work out with Matt. No, I know. I'm pissed. I'm
scared that I'm not going to like her after next week.
Same. So we'll cross our fingers. So Anna, don't disappoint us.
Please don't.
Let's hope she's the messenger. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, the outro is Matt with the hiccups. And that's it.
As someone with really weird and annoying hiccups, I did not find this endearing.
No, it was weird.
I found this really
Yep.
stupid.
But that's it. We did it, and I'm kind of bored with these. I'm ready for it to pick up a little bit. You know.
That's the thing. Like, I would love to see like genuine interaction, and I'm really sick of these like you said, like feature episodes.
Always
like the Victoria show and the Sarah show.
Yep, exactly. And right. I need Sarah to come back because there's no other apparent real villain showing themselves other than like Victoria. So.
Do you know what time it is?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Hit me with your guesses for this week.
Okay. All right. So I'm going a little okay. The rising sign I'm really fuzzy on this week. Okay. I am definitely solidly on my Scorpio moon guess though, because he is very guarded in a very deep way that most Sagittarius moons aren't. And despite the Sagittariusness of the rest of his chart, there's still that like secrecy element to him. And he mentions like lots of things like mystery, and wanting to, he asks all these very probing questions and is very direct. And I don't know, I'm starting to feel Scorpio moon. But with the rising sign this week, I feel like I want like this is gonna sound very out of nowhere, but I'm gonna guess I think I'm gonna guess Virgo rising.
Shut the fuck up.
Because
Shannon, I wrote Leo, but I swear to God, I was thinking Virgo. I swear to God. I swear to God.
There's a very interesting level of like detail that he tries to keep up with people. And I could see him being ruled by Mercury and ruled by his Sagittarius Mercury, which is trash at communicating. And also if he was a Virgo rising, he would have Jupiter in the first house, which I think describes him pretty well as far as being a lucky motherfucker. And also this like whole I must date to like, I'm only dating to marry, I'm only doing this like this. He's giving me a lot of Virgo routine energy, a lot of Virgo nitpicky stuff, but also at the same time trying to be like carefree because Jupiter. So I don't know, but yeah, this was a harder one. I feel like I didn't get much Matt this episode
because we didn't see anything other than his like doting for Sarah.
Yeah. Also, like, he's mentioned some things about his past where I'm like, you sound like kind of a nerd.
Just to show it to the people.
It's beautiful.
The good people on the YouTube.
And you're at Scorpio and Leo?
Yeah. Because like you said, there's not enough information for me to change my guess because I didn't really get anything from him this week.
I feel like Scorpio is going to be right. It's got to be. The Scorpio moon.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, amazing. I'm excited for next week to see these new women. Apparently, I think we get them next week.
5 new ladies.
So we'll have to pull some charts.
We're already a little ahead of the curve, so.
Good. Yeah, got some. But I love it. Well, anyway, Jess, love you.
Do you want to plug real quick?
Let's go to bed so that we can get up for our early things tomorrow.
Plug real quick.
Oh, yeah. You right. Follow us on Instagram at Do the Roses Align. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Astrology Chef. And Jess.
I'm just at Jessica Tula. And you can also watch these podcasts on YouTube now.
Yes.
If you want to do that.
And we're YouTube at the Do the Roses Align also. So watch us. We are pretty cute. And in this YouTube, you will be able to see my cat in the corner of the video who just keeps popping his head up and just looking like with his little round eyes, just like, hello.
It's worth it. It's a treat.
It's really cute. And I'm wearing my rose hoodie.
Yeah. So obviously for the fashion statements alone, please join us on YouTube.
Festive. I love a theme. So anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. And here, I'll show you my cat just to be like, look, for incentive. Oh, you podcast listeners can't see him, but he's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. Aren't you, Miso?
Yeah, you'll just have to go over YouTube to see Miso.
And he's very good at talking too. Aren't you, Miso? Come on. Come on. Hey, why are you being like this? You always
so
talk.
Chatty. You know?
Every time I'm
always so chatty.
Miso, why are you like this?
There we go. That was a little one.
A tiny little chirp. Right, Miso? He's like, no, he literally went back to the exact spot that he was sitting in. Is like, I don't want. Like,
oh my God, he looks so majestic. Look at him.
He is so cute. Look at
he's
such a handsome boy. He's happy that I'm home. He's like, I missed you. You're so good. You're so soft boy. All right. Well, Miso and I are going to bed.
Same. Likewise.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that we did that. I like doing the recap at night because then it's like out.
Me too.
Earlier. So
I concur.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.